In all those Stanley Cup Finals moments, I know people usually ask you about your most memorable games. I'm curious if you have a favorite call or a handful of favorite calls from those games.
I don't know. I know. I know there's one that's not one of my favorites, but it's one that I'll never forget, and that was the one that several of us missed on Patrick Kane's overtime goal in the sixth game a couple of years ago in Philadelphia. I mean, you always remember those because in a perfect world you get those. And as Patrick Waugh, the great Hall of Fame goaltender, once said after he gave up 7, I'm paid to get those, so you can say anything you want about me. We several of us missed it, and we have no excuse. It was just one of those weird plays that occurred where he shot the puck from the left circle and it went disappeared underneath the goaltender, and we couldn't tell if he had it, whether it went wide because we were blocked out on that side, and it actually went in the net, and the referee didn't even see it. No light went on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I don't know if I remember specific calls. I remember one game in particular, Donnie, that was played. John Davidson and I were doing the first year of Versus. This would have been out of the lockout 05-06. It was also the first year of Sidney Crosby. So they go into Philadelphia, and it's a typically murderous game. Eddie Olczyk is coaching the Penguins, and Crosby's getting worked over pretty well. And he's getting teeth knocked out by Darian Hatcher, and he's complaining to the referees about no penalty calls. And then Eddie apparently talked to him during the first intermission and said, look, you're going to get a bad reputation here. You got to stop this. So he told us later, we addressed it in the first period, and I think we got through the rest of the game okay. But it went into sudden death overtime. Marc-Andre Fleury was the surprise goaltender because Konstantin Koltsov, one of the Pittsburgh wingers, gonged the starting goaltender during the warm-up, hit him in the throat with a shot. Well, that left only Fleury to play goal, and he was spectacular and got the game into overtime, and then Crosby scored on a breakaway in overtime, and it silenced the crowd in Philadelphia. It was one of the more exciting games that I've seen, and it was probably as good as an example as you would have of the theater that hockey games become. Becomes a morality play, and it becomes theatrical, even though the players, the last thing they're considering is that this is some kind of theatrical show. But it really becomes dramatic, and it becomes something where people walk away realizing they've seen something. Whether they like the outcome or not, and the fans in Philly did not, they realized that they saw something.